لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. All praises and thanks are due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His help, and we beg for His forgiveness. We seek Allah's refuge from our evil deeds. Whomever Allah guides cannot be led astray, and whomever is led astray shall find none other than to guide him. I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah alone, who has no partner, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, is his slave and messenger. The chairman of the occasion, our elder brother Alhaji Abdul Ghani Muhammad Bello, the former president of Muslim Lawyers Association of Nigeria, and also the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Gombe State, and also Chiroma Gombe, Sarkin Malaman Gombe, Alhaji Abubakar Ahmad Walama, the Chief Imam of Gombe, the Deputy Chief Imam also, the former Chief Medical Director of the Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe, and also the immediate past Chairman of NITDA Governing Board, the Chief Imam of Gombe State University, academics, friends, brothers, sisters, all other protocols respectfully observe. Good morning to all of you, and I repeat, may Allah's peace be wa ta'ala for the opportunity to converge on this campus, Gombe State University, today, 22nd of Shawwal, 1446, after the hijrah of our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam from Mecca to the city of Medina, in order to attend this an important event organized by the Muslim Lawyers Association of Nigeria, Gombe branch, and also to speak on an important topic, that is the future of legal profession, how emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, are revolutionizing the profession. I received this invitation through our elder brother and friend, Barrister Muhammad Ibrahim At-Tahir, inviting me to this very important event. After receiving the invitation and accepting it, within 24 hours, I received another invitation from the Muslim Lawyers Association of Nigeria national body, inviting me to speak on the same topic during their national event in Kwara State. And the topic is 90% the same. This is to show to us that it is not just a coincidence, but it is indeed an essential topic within the lawyers how emerging technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, are revolutionizing the profession. Fourth Industrial Revolution, or what we call emerging technologies, or disruptive technologies, or breakthrough technologies, or advanced technologies, are the key enablers of all other sectors today in the world. They are no more an independent sector, but rather they are the key enablers of other sectors, whether in the medical line, legal profession, security, education, agriculture, commerce, industry, any other sector you consider, you will discover that the key enabler of that sector today are the emerging technologies. In summary, emerging technologies are the technologies of the fourth industrial revolution. As we know that formally, we have four industrial revolutions. Number one is the first industrial revolution that took place in the 18th centuries, around 1760 up to 1840, with the invention of steam power that took place in Europe, particularly in Manchester and Liverpool. The invention of steam power, which allows transportation, conveying luggage from one point to another easily without relying on human energy or animal power, is what was brought during the first industrial revolution. So steam power was the invention of the first industrial revolution that took place in the United Kingdom around 1760 up to 1840. While the second industrial revolution took place largely in Europe, particularly in Manchester, Liverpool, Belgium, Germany, and France. The major inventions of the second industrial revolution were, number one, electricity. Electricity is an invention of the second industrial revolution. Light bulb is an invention of the second industrial revolution. Radio is an invention of the second industrial revolution. Also television, particularly black and white television. Mass production, they are all part and parcel of the second industrial revolution. And this revolution also took place in the United Kingdom, then closely followed by Belgium, Germany, and France. And towards the end of the second industrial revolution, the US joined. And that is why at that time, UK was leading in the first and second, while Belgium, Germany, France, and the US were called the chess group. They were following the UK closely. The third industrial revolution is what brought about the information and communications technology, the invention of internet. However, second industrial revolution, it was only after the Second World War that scientists and other researchers went back to their labs and library to continue with their research and invention. So the third industrial revolution brought about ICT, the invention of internet, World Wide Webs, and even globalization, where it allows real communication, live programs, but most of them were one-way communication. You can watch on television what was happening in the UK or in the US or in Saudi Arabia during the third industrial revolution, but it was largely a one-way communication where there was no way you will communicate to the system directory. But the fourth industrial revolution and the third industrial revolution, the new entries were Japan and Australia, in addition to many countries in Europe and America. And the fourth industrial revolution, which commenced around 2010, we can say 15 years ago, some argue at the early part of 2000, around 2001, which is approximately 24 years ago, brought about what we call emerging technologies. or disruptive technologies, technologies that are disrupting the way we conduct our activities today, the way we communicate, the way we perform our duties. And in the fourth industrial revolution, the major inventions are like artificial intelligence. Even though the concept of artificial intelligence was formulated during the third industrial revolution, but the implementation started in the fourth industrial revolution, like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, augmented reality, virtual reality, nanotechnology, biotechnology, 5G, and now even 6G, and many more. They are the inventions of the fourth industrial revolution. And this is what our presentation today, inshallah, discusses. Legal profession is a noble profession. There is no doubt about this. Many years, many centuries, there was a time that if you are not part of the royal family, you are not permitted to even study law and become a lawyer. It is indeed a noble profession. And this noble profession is the foundation of justice. Justice is a prerequisite to peace and stability all over the world. When there is justice, definitely there is going to be peace and stability. When there is injustice, that will definitely affect peace and stability. And peace and stability are key to our development and growth globally. In addition, if we look at the relationship between legal profession on one hand and emerging technologies on the other, we will clearly see that emerging technologies are increasing our access to justice. They increase our access to justice in so many ways. However, they bring about new legal challenges to the way and manner legal profession is being practiced globally. Furthermore, one may wish to argue that emerging technologies today are changing the way and manner legal profession is being practiced. However, that will not in any way make our skilled lawyers to be redundant. It's changing the profession, but will not in any way make our skilled lawyers to be redundant. Why? Because emerging technologies are only disrupting the way and manner we conduct our activities. But if we update ourselves, it will never make us to be irrelevant, but only to make us to be more effective and efficient. That is why if we deploy emerging technologies in our legal profession or any other profession, there are many benefits to be attained, like precision, accuracy, facilitate communication, saving cost, problem solving, decision making. All of them will become more and more easier. And this is what emerging technologies are all about. In addition to that, an interesting point is the fact that the foundation of computer science and also the backbone of emerging technologies today commenced over 1,100 years ago, particularly with the academic work of Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khawarizmi, a renowned Muslim astronomer, geographer, and mathematician who lived within Iraq and parts of Russia today, like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, among others. Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khawarizmi, one may wish to argue that he is the father of modern computer science. And also, he is the father of emerging technologies. No any component of emerging technology can be implemented today without deploying his work on algorithm into that. No any development in artificial intelligence or blockchain or cybersecurity or Internet of Things or nanotechnology or biotechnology or augmented reality or virtual reality or any form of development technologically without making reference, without deploying his work on algorithm. So algorithm is fundamental to emerging technology and is also the backbone of artificial intelligence, among others. And this is a work that was done over 1,100 years ago. In addition, if we are to discuss the way and manner emerging technologies are disrupting and in some ways are enhancing legal practice, we need to discuss what are the activities of a lawyer in summary. What are the activities of a legal professional in summary? Some of the major activities: one, advising clients. About your right, ask a lawyer. Lawyers advise their clients in any decision to be taken, particularly major decisions. You need to be supported, to be advised by a lawyer, whether in business transaction or any form of agreement. Number two, drafting documents. These documents could be contract, agreement, or wills, as the case may be. If you intend to draft a document, whether it is a contract document or agreement or any will, it is important to engage a lawyer to draft the document for you. Otherwise, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You don't even know the legal implication of the document you are going to sign. And it is important, before signing any important document, ask a lawyer to review and advise you. It is indeed very important. Number three, representing clients in court. If you have any dispute, you are to defend yourself, or you have any challenge, it is important to ask a lawyer to represent you in court. And this is very important. Four, conducting research. Lawyers are researchers. There is no way you can be a successful lawyer without conducting research. It's practically not possible. Because you cannot appear in court to defend any case without conducting research. Number five, negotiating settlements. Lawyers represent us to negotiate any settlement. If you have a settlement to negotiate, it is important to engage a lawyer to represent you in doing that. Six, lawyers interpret laws. They interpret our laws for us. Lawmakers do not interpret law, but lawyers interpret laws. Our lawmakers, whether at the state assembly or national assembly, based on our laws, our constitution, they are lawmakers. But you cannot, after approving the law, they have no power to interpret, but they can only approve. And the CEO or the governor or president can assent to it. When it becomes a law, neither the executive nor the legislators can interpret, but lawyers can interpret. And sometimes the interpretation is not the same with what was approved in the law. Because when that law is assented to, it becomes a law. And by becoming a law, neither the executive nor the judiciary will interpret it. So the legislators, actually only lawyers and the judiciary can interpret. And you will discover sometimes what lawmakers presented, not the actual interpretation. And the decision is not being taken based on what you intended to do in the law as the one who sponsored the bill, but it is based on what the lawyers or the judiciary will interpret. So these are some of the most important areas where lawyers perform their activities and their major functions. This is in summary. Today, if you deploy modern technologies or emerging technologies, you will discover that out of these 6 major areas, emerging technologies can effectively and efficiently perform 5 out of 6. The only area that emerging technologies cannot perform effectively is the area of representing their clients in court. Besides representing clients in court, AI and other emerging technologies can support you in advising your clients, drafting documents, conducting research, negotiating settlements, interpretation of laws, even analyzing the law, collecting data, analyzing the data, and professionally advising you about the decision to be taken. However, as I always argue, neither emerging technologies nor AI will take over your job as long as you learn how to apply them in your area of your expertise. AI can only take over your job if you fail to learn how AI is applied in your area. But as long as you learn, then definitely it will not take over your job. Furthermore, there is a very serious argument today globally whether AI is smarter than human beings or not. That is artificial intelligence. In summary, artificial intelligence refers to a branch of computer science that performs the cognitive functions of a human intelligence. A situation where a machine can perform an action that is being performed by a human being. We call that machine as an artificial intelligence system, like learning, reasoning, decision-making, perception, among others. These cognitive functions that are supposed to be performed by a human being, when a machine performs them, that machine becomes an artificial intelligence. Human beings are natural intelligence. They are human intelligence, while that machine is an artificial intelligence because it's not natural, but rather artificial. So artificial intelligence is about facilitating and performing the cognitive functions that human beings perform. So AI and others can make your work much, much easier if they are deployed in legal profession or any other profession, including medical lines. They will increase precision, accuracy, they will save cost, they will also enhance in decision making, and they facilitate communication between lawyers and their clients, as the case may be. And there are so many areas where they are deployed. AI today is leading in the area of emerging technologies. The leading one today is artificial intelligence, and all other inventions are following. But AI is undoubtedly leading. That is why recently, according to the World Economic Forum, the most influential economic forum globally, AI will displace around 83 million jobs globally. However, they will also create new opportunities that are estimated to be around 97 million new jobs. I always argue that AI in itself cannot display you from your job, but other people who learn AI can displace and take over your job from you. AI doesn't develop itself. AI doesn't operate itself. It is being developed by a human being and it is being operated by a human being. So that human being who develops AI and also manipulates and operates AI is the one that is challenging you and is willing to take over your job from you, not AI in itself. So that is why the challenge is not about the technology, but the challenge to your job are the people that are learning AI and other emerging technologies. Because the technology doesn't develop itself and it doesn't operate itself. And this is indeed very important. So if we look at the technologies today, like AI, as I earlier mentioned, the foundation of AI, am I permitted to continue? Okay, I can raise my voice, no problem. The foundation of AI and other emerging technologies is the algorithm. But the concept of artificial intelligence was coined in 1956. 1956, which is approximately 69 years ago, during a Dartmouth conference that took place in the US. And the phrase AI was coined by Professor John McAfee of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology during the conference to come up with a new concept, a new branch of computer science that can perform cognitive functions of a human being. So during that conference in 1956, the phrase AI, artificial intelligence, emerged globally. And since then, we have recorded unprecedented inventions and achievements in that area of AI, particularly during the Fourth Industrial Revolution. One of the areas where AI can support a lawyer or the legal profession, number one, in data analytics. Analyzing data is key in legal practice because lawyers must review documents, relevant laws, agreements, contracts, wills, if any, regulations, among others. The quantity of data being generated today, particularly online, it is indeed a Herculean task to review all and come up with your legal position on it. If you go through history, you will discover that from the dawn of civilization up to the early part of 2000, if we say the dawn of civilization, meaning the early stage of human civilization on earth, like ancient Egypt, ancient China, Mesopotamia, and others, these civilizations commenced approximately 5,000 years ago. This human civilization. So from 5,000 years ago up to 2003, just 23 years ago, the quantity of data generated, according to Google companies, the quantity of data generated globally was 5 exabytes. For within a period of 5,000 years, the quantity of data generated globally was only 5 exabytes. Do you know exabyte? Exabyte is 1 with 18 zeros. Is exabyte. In summary, exabytes, as we know easily, 1,000 kilobytes will give you what? 1 megabyte. Thank you. 1,000 megabytes can give you 1 gigabyte. Thank you. 1,000 gigabytes approximately can give you 1 terabyte. So 1,000 terabytes approximately can give you 1 petabyte. So 1,000 petabytes can give you 1 exabyte. Then 1000 exabytes can give you 1 zettabyte. And 1000 zettabytes can give you 1 prontobyte. 1000 prontobytes can give you 1 botabyte. 1000 botabytes can give you 1 geobyte, and we continue like this. So, within the last 5,000 years, from the dawn of civilization that commenced in Egypt, China, and some parts of Iraq, because they were leading the world in civilization, within these 5,000 years, the quantity of data generated was only 5 exabytes. But from 2003 up to 2022, approximately every day, 2.5 exabytes of data was being generated daily. Meaning, the quantity of data being generated from 2004 to 2022, approximately, within 48 hours, 2 days, was equivalent to the data generated within a period of 5,000 years before. And the data today online is unlimited. And recently, from 2023, just 2 years ago, the quantity of data generated within the year was 120 zettabytes. And remember, 1000 exabytes will give you 1 zettabyte. So within that year, the quantity of data generated in 2023 was 120 zettabytes. We are not discussing about exabyte anymore. In addition to that, in 2024, the quantity of data generated was up to 148 zettabytes. In 2025, this year, the quantity of data estimated to be generated is 181 zettabytes. So by implication, the quantity of data being generated today within 6 hours is more than the data generated within the entire period of a human history from the dawn of civilization up to 2003. Within 6 hours only. So that is why the quantity of data today being generated is mind-boggling. And it becomes practically impossible to manually review the data, analyze it, and take decision professionally. It's practically impossible. According to the International Data Corporation, IDC, that recently they said in 2024 that by 2025 this year, we will be having 46.1 billion. Listen to me, 46.1 billion Internet of Things facilities globally. This is Internet of Things. Each and every one is an independent facility. But it becomes Internet of Things because they share information among themselves. So if you take 46 billion, you will discover that it's more than 5 times even the world population. So the IoTs we have today in the world are more than 5 times the population of the world, according to the United Nations, particularly according to the Bureau of Reference and Population in the US. The world population is approximately 8.2 billion people. And the facilities, over 46 billion. And this is only in the area of artificial Internet of Things only. And they are all interconnected, and they generate data, and they share it. So that is why when it comes to reviewing documents, it is becoming practically impossible to do today without deploying emerging technologies. And it is important for us to know, even the Google search engine is an artificial intelligence system. The Google we search, it is an artificial intelligence system. YouTube, in some ways, it is related to artificial intelligence systems. So just assume your research as a researcher without Google, without any search engine. Just recall in 80s and 90s when research was being conducted only manually. We used to go to libraries, try to get a textbook, go through and conduct research. How can that be possible today? It is becoming impossible. Because in one case, you will discover today you could have over 1,000 documents to review. And that cannot be done manually. In some cases, more than that. So we have big data analytics that can generate data, analyze, summarize, and advise you and present it to you for you to take a legal decision on it so that you can advise your client professionally. Furthermore, another interesting area when it comes to supporting legal professionals to do their work is in the area of advising clients, conducting research, among others. Today in the area of artificial intelligence, there are so many systems that can support you to do that. Like there is what is called KIRA system, K-I-R-A. It helps you to advise your client professionally. We have like Logix, L-A-W-G-E-E-X. This is another artificial intelligence system that can help you to generate data, analyze huge quantity of data, summarize it, and sometimes even advise you to advise your client. All these are very important. And there is what we call machine learning. Machine learning is helping you in prediction. They are for predictive analysis because some cases are bad. You may wish to advise your client, this is a bad case. You are not advised professionally to pursue it. This predictive system can review all the content and advise you, and even predict the future, whether you are going to win the case or not. It will take the data you present to it, and it will conduct further research online and predict the outcome of that case if it is filed in a court. That system will guide you. Like there is ROS intelligence, R-O-S-S intelligence. It is a predictive system that can professionally predict the outcome of that case if it is filed legally. So all these systems are indeed very important, and they are related to artificial intelligence. And very common around, we have like Meta AI, ChatGPT. They are all part and parcel of artificial intelligence, and they are being deployed to help in decision making, analyzing data, making further research, and sometimes advise you professionally so that you can guide your client as the case may be. So there are many of them, and this is only in the area of artificial intelligence. When it comes to blockchain technology also, you will discover that blockchain is largely about preserving data integrity. Law as a profession values data integrity. That is why any responsible lawyer, when you present document to you, he will ask you politely, are you sure that these documents are authentic? They are not in any way altered? And if he sees anything suspicious on the document, any altering, he will ask you to confess to him. Because as long as you fail to tell your lawyer the genuine situation, then even at that stage, your case is a bad case. So it is important, even the information that you cannot disclose to someone, you have to disclose it to your lawyer. And based on his profession and the provision of our Constitution 1999 as amended section 77, 78, he knows your data privacy and your confidentiality. He will not disclose it as long as he practices law professionally. So when it comes to preservation of documents, like drafting contracts or agreements or will, and we want to preserve their integrity so that they will not be altered in any way, blockchain technology is the best way to go. Any information developed by blockchain technology will permanently remain the same. And if there is need for any alteration to be made, that alteration is going to be recorded. The time, the date, the minute, and even the second, so that it will be documented that this is the time it was altered. And this is indeed very important. With blockchain technology today, there is no way a document is going to be altered without recording that. And any document that is developed by blockchain technology will remain permanently, inshallah, without any alteration anywhere. And that is why if you maybe visit our universities in developed countries, the issue of saying that your transcript, you have to wait for it for 1 year to get it, or your degree, certificate, or any certificate, today in our universities, I don't know GSU, when you misplaced your original certificate, that is the end of it. You will not get anyone. I don't know whether that policy has been changed. It is like this. But today in developed countries, because of blockchain technology, the original copy of your certificate is in blockchain. They only print and give you. When you misplace it, you only need to email your university and pay around $20 or thereabout. Within a week, they will email you another copy of your certificate, the same with the first one in any form, without any alteration, because the original is there in blockchain and it can be printed 1,000 times without any stress. Your transcript is in blockchain, so you don't need to apply it again. When a copy is given to you and you need another one, just pay them the printing fee and they will email you. I once misplaced my PhD certificate that I obtained in the United Kingdom. What I did only, my university email still functioning with more than 11 years after graduation today, still functioning. I only use my email and email the university that I misplaced it. And I asked my family members, they couldn't see it. And I said, just for record purpose, let me have another one. They asked me to pay around £20. And I have a friend who is a lecturer in the university, because at that time I was not operating any international account. And he paid that amount, making reference to me. Within 48 hours, the same original certificate was available. And they asked me how to send it to me. And I presented his personal address, that brother who was a lecturer there. They posted the certificate to him. Within 24 hours, he received it. Within a week, the certificate was with me in Abuja. The same thing with the first certificate I misplaced. So blockchain technology is about data integrity, 100%. No data is going to be altered. And this is very important in legal profession, where we want to preserve the integrity of data and information in any contract, in agreement, in wills, any important document. When you develop it using blockchain technology, it will inshallah be there permanently without any form of alteration. And that is why today it is important to use system of blockchain technology while drafting any legal agreement, that we don't want the content to be altered, so that when it is signed, nobody has even power to alter it. Why? Because the original copy will remain permanently in that blockchain system. And this is another area that is important. Furthermore, another area where blockchain or emerging technologies are relevant and they are revolutionizing the legal profession is in the area of augmented reality and virtual reality. Augmented reality virtual reality and 5G allow real-time communication. We can have a virtual discussion using augmented reality and virtual reality. Some of our members are in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, some in China, Asia, some in Europe, England, Germany, France, some are in Australia and even New Zealand. Some are in North America, Canada, some are in South America, Brazil, Costa Rica, and others. When we deploy augmented reality and virtual reality using 5G, we will conduct our meeting like we are in the same place physically. Like we are in the same place physically. Today, with augmented reality and virtual reality, you can even embark on a virtual holiday. From here, university, you can visit London, visit some shops, move to Dubai, visit some shops there with your spouse and children at home. We have virtual holiday. If your spouse agrees, you don't need to spend money today to travel. You can organize for them a virtual holiday where they can visit many cities globally as they are there physically. And you can visit many shops using augmented reality and virtual reality. And they will feel like they are in that place physically. And after visiting, you can make a purchase online through e-commerce and you can receive a home delivery easily. But I believe you need to do a lot of work before you convince your family to forfeit physical traveling. You need to do a lot. Sometimes you need to even engage a lawyer to help you and convince them so that they can replace their physical holiday with a virtual one. But definitely you can do it. So augmented reality and virtual reality are very relevant today in the area of a legal profession. Many countries in the world today have formalized virtual courts. There are virtual courts. In Nigeria, we commenced the process of formalizing virtual engagements in 2020 through developing a national policy for public engagements in the federal public institutions. And it was approved by the Federal Executive Council, one of my legacies. So many countries, besides even engagements, they formalized virtual courts in order to save time and cost. As a lawyer, you can be in any part of the world and you can virtually participate in court proceedings through augmented reality and virtual reality. And people sitting there physically, they will interact with you as you are with them physically. And it allows real-time communication. Virtual court proceedings are formal in the US, Canada, India, in Australia, even in Africa. Virtual court proceedings are formal in Uganda, in South Africa, in Egypt. In these countries, even you didn't, but today you will discover lawyers are traveling a lot. All of them going to Supreme Court in Abuja. Any cause, any Supreme Court issue should be there physically. We need to decentralize certain things. And it's very important because too much centralization is a challenge. A court will spend 20 years sometimes before hearing in the Supreme Court. Some you will discover the ruling today, the case was there 2005, 2006. Even the people engaged are already late. They are no more with us. So that is why virtual court proceedings today are formal in so many countries. And you will discover there is decentralization of all these issues. You will discover in a country with decentralization and virtual engagements, even at the highest court, the Supreme Court, in a day, you will discover 1,000 hearings. 1,000 cases are being presented every day. But today, most probably it is difficult to present even 20 or 30 cases physically. But through this process, 1,000 cases, because justice
Delayed is justice denied. People involved, after 20 years, then the ruling is out, and they are all dead. So you will discover that the ruling is all about record purpose, nothing more than that. And you will discover even cases involving election. Some of them, the decision could be some years. At least now there is a significant improvement in that area. But some of them, it is after the tenure, then the ruling is met. So these are some of the challenges. In addition to that, emerging technologies can also help our court or our legal profession in the area of cybersecurity. Because when you go online, definitely you will discover that there are many attackers, many hackers, because cyber criminals do not respect borders. If it is physical traveling, before you leave Nigeria, you will go through custom and immigration. Any visitor coming to Nigeria is subjected to interrogation in our airports when he arrives by air. But when it comes to cyber criminals, they don't respect any border. It is because of this, a criminal will be in the far eastern countries and will commit crime in Nigeria or in America. A traveling by air that may require 20 hours, but he will commit a crime. So it is necessary that our legal profession should give priority to cyber security, because cyber criminals can easily hack our system and alter the content or intercept our confidentiality and our privacy. That breach of agreement can easily be done through cyber criminals. And unfortunately, as I always say, cyber security is at the speed of law, while cyber criminals, they operate at the speed of light. We know the process of enacting a law. From the bill sometimes to enacting a law, it may take 10 years. But cyber criminals, within 2 seconds from China to Nigeria, he can hack your system. And that is why today you will discover there are many disputes. Because of what? Because of cyber criminals. They will hack a system and expose the content online. And there could be a confidential agreement, confidentiality and privacy in it, based on even our existing laws. Cyber criminals do not respect that. And it is important that our legal professionals must give priority and preference to cyber security, and is indeed very important. This is just in summary. As I earlier mentioned from the beginning, that technology is increasing our access to justice. Unfortunately, technology is also exposing so many legal challenges. Some of the legal challenges that technology today exposes is the fact that ethics are being breached. Agreements are being breached, not intentionally, but unintentionally. On 24th October 2024, just less than a year, just 7 months ago, a crime or an episode happened in Florida in the United States of America, that a company called Character.ai developed a chatbot. That chatbot was developed using artificial intelligence, which allows, that chatbot allows children to play like a game. A 14-year-old boy by name Wessel Setzer was following that artificial intelligence, a program called the Game of Thrones. He was engaging with artificial intelligence, a 14-year-old boy, just partaking in conversation with an artificial intelligence system. They reached a situation where he only once mentioned the word suicide. From that time, that AI was recommending so many programs to him for committing suicide. To the extent that once that boy said to the character AI system. It's just AI powered system for chatbot. He said to the system, I love you. The system replied by saying, I love you too, my baby. And he said, I want to come back to you. The system said, I will welcome you any time. And the boy said, are you willing to accept me when I come now? Then the system says, absolutely. And through the conversation, the system guided him to commit suicide. And his mother, by name Menga Garcia, reported the case to the court on 24th October 2024. The decision becomes difficult to attend because it is a conversation between him and a system. So the problem is the problem with the technology company, or with the software company, or with the Google company that supported him to interact, or the problem is with the engineer who assembled the system. So you see the problem. A suicide has been committed and the case is ready in the court, but who is to be held responsible? Who is to be held responsible is a challenge. Another case in 2018 took place in the US involving Uber autopilot car. It is an Uber autopilot, meaning driverless car. Because today, if you travel to some Asian countries, you will see a car without any driver on our roads, on their roads. And you can have a taxi without driver, and it can convey you from one point to another. An accident happened, 2 people were killed. The issue is who is to be held accountable. The guy operating the autopilot says it's not his fault because he issued an exact instruction. The problem could be from the company that manufactured the car. The company said no, what they did was absolutely right. The problem could be with the software company that developed the software that was installed in that autopilot car. So you see another dimension. People are being killed today, but the issue, who is to be held accountable? And you will discover that even the lawyers and even the judges listening to the case, including the engineers and computer scientists, will find it difficult to identify where the fault emerges. Because software engineer can always appear and defend himself. Hardware engineer will come and defend himself. Car designer will come and defend himself. The technician will come and defend himself. The company that assemble will defend itself. Then who is to be held accountable? And the same happened with Tesla driverless cars in 2018 and in 2020 and even in 2022. The same with what happened with drones in Kaduna recently, where some of our citizens were conducting an event in this Tudimbiri, and they were killed by a drone involving our security agencies, particularly military. And you will discover only play game was played around. The military exonerating themselves, operators exonerating themselves, people involved are all exonerating themselves, and nobody was involved physically. It was only a drone. This is another dimension of a legal challenge involving emerging technologies. Furthermore, as I earlier mentioned, there is data confidentiality and privacy. In data, we classify data into 2 major classes. There is a general or public data, and there is a private data. Private data must be kept confidentially. And in our constitution, privacy is our right. While in office, I sponsored an executive bill that brought about Nigeria Data Protection Commission. It was my initiative as a private bill. Today we have Nigeria Data Protection Commission. because of the Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023, meaning that data privacy is key, and there is a data that is private, and there are some situations where our security institutions are allowed to have access to private data when a prima facie case is established, like through Cybersecurity Crime 2025 as amended. There is what is called lawful intercept. But generally, private data must be private. But today, emerging technologies brought another challenge, where a company operates in Nigeria, an institution operates in Nigeria, but the data of our citizens is being stored in another country. When there is a breach of data, you will discover the breach doesn't happen in Nigeria, but it happens in another country. In addition to that, we initiated another policy where Nigerian data must be resided in Nigeria. There is another challenge. Whatever you Google, you save in your email, either Gmail or Hotmail, any communication you do through WhatsApp or any social media platform, that one is not a Nigerian company. It is a global company. They have their own laws in other places. And where the headquarters is where they respect their laws. And in these places, sometimes they have limitation when it comes to privacy. The way we have it. Your data could be exposed. When you complain, it is not from you, but the company. And that is why today, unfortunately, we don't respect terms and agreements. When we are downloading any software, 99% they will say, I accept. Terms and agreement, I accept. Automatically, we just accept, we don't go through them. And in these terms and agreement, you will discover that all these things are stated. Don't be surprised to see your image one day in another advertisement promoting fornication. Why? You downloaded software by clicking I accept. And in that terms and agreements, all these things are stated. That even if there is privacy, there are situations they can make use of your data either for official reason, either for their advertisement, or for their own company interest. This is another challenge. Today, because of the issue of globalization, and most importantly, the invention of Internet of Things, you don't even know where your data is. When we communicate through WhatsApp, it is clearly stated that all your conversations are private. It is absolutely true. However, they have your record in their database. Just think, how can a company provide a platform for you, you download, you keep in touch with your family, you send videos, you send pictures, you text your family, you call them, you have video conversation, and you do not pay one kobo, and you agree that they have nothing to benefit from you. You are just misleading yourself. It's not Sadaqatin Jariyah about the company. They don't even know anything about that. So definitely, in one way or the other, they are benefiting from your involvement and patronizing their platforms. And most probably, you could not be that popular globally. But if you are, they will definitely expose some of your records one day. And many government institutions globally are mounting pressure on them to release information and data. And they have been doing that. Particularly, even in China, when you sign an agreement, you must sign no disclosure policy. Otherwise, that information that they say is private could not be private. And the same with many American companies. Only few are resistant, but most of them are not. So this is another challenge to the area of data privacy and confidentiality. That is why it is important that you and your family, even if WhatsApp is private, please try to regulate personally the information you share with your family, particularly your images and your videos. Don't just agree that only your family have access to what you send to them. We should try to regulate. Otherwise, some hackers can even hack a system, intercept, and you will see some of your images, your private images online. We must be extra careful. That private and that encryption is generally true, but not 100% true. Even if it is not being compromised by the companies, there are hackers that can compromise even the content of the information. I was in Doha only last week, and I saw 2 missed calls from our elder sister Hajia Amina from Gombe State, the Deputy Secretary of the United Nations. I received 2 missed calls, and later I saw a text message using her image and record contacting me. I have her number and she has my number. And when I called back, I heard her voice and I realized she was not the one. Even though the lady speaking did well in copying her voice and even her accent, she did extremely well. But through the conversation, I pushed her to release an information she did, and she got it wrong. And I immediately cut off the conversation. I screenshot everything and I sent to Hajia Amina and I alerted her. She replied me immediately that definitely she was not the one. Within our cycle, I discovered that 3 people also alerted her that they were contacted the same evening. The same. But today with emerging technologies, if they are advanced in committing crime, they can even use AI to copy her voice 100% the same. Everything the same. Because the wordings are from them, but the accent and the voice is from her. And this is very possible. And this can happen to anybody globally. Even ourselves in the area of AI, we are being contacted sometimes by people that some people, even though they are yet to hack our accounts, we are being protected by Allah, not by our expertise only. However, sometimes they will copy your email similar to your own. If my email is Isa Ali Ibrahim, they will add additional I's. Or Isa, they will add H. Contrary to the way I spell it, ISA. It will be the same, and they will create another account through the same Gmail or Hotmail. A closest friend, if he doesn't take note, he will not be able to differentiate. So there are so many ways, and they are bringing new challenges to the legal profession, particularly when a crime is committed. There are so many examples in that direction. I spoke for more than an hour. My intention was to speak for an hour. And I believe because of time constraint, I will shut down the presentation here and clear the screen. May Allah make this presentation beneficial to the legal profession. And this is just a foundation to bring some challenges being confronted by our legal cycle so that they can take note of it and conduct further research and see how that can be addressed. We need many laws in Nigeria dealing with artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, augmented reality, virtual reality. All these are challenges to our legislators and also to our lawyers, our legal practitioners. They have a role to play. In Nigeria, we are advancing in the area of artificial intelligence. In 2020, I established on behalf of the federal government the first ever National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics in Africa, not in Nigeria, the first one. And we have recorded many unprecedented achievements. And in the next few years, another dimension of challenges will emerge from AI, even in Nigeria, because of the quality of the startups we are having. And I believe we must be proactive, not reactive. The challenges of emerging technologies can only be addressed effectively by adopting proactiveness, not being reactive. And this is indeed very important. This is the end of my presentation. Permit me to shut down the presentation. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.